Hello. What did you say could lead me to the repair of the resonance chamber? I've consulted my records and made inquiries on your behalf, revered one, but I have not been unable to ascertain the truth. Like the clock, this is beyond us. Perhaps the cast-off who ate... Oh, right. Okay, I'd like to sleep here. We would be honored if you'd stay with us. We do respect... 40 shins? Guess.
Thank you, dear. That feels better.
It's freaking expensive. Wake up, a woman says, and you do. She stands, arms folded, watching you with a grim expression. There's been another murder in the underbelly, she says. A little mutant named Crooked Keek. Oh no! Folsom wants words with you. She turns to walk away. If I were you, I'd head down there now. Not Crooked Keek!
Yes.
Not really that surprising, but not Crooked Keek. What did she do to deserve death? Is she gonna be a pile of blood as well? Coffee. Delicious coffee. Hey, Allegern. What's up?
Of course.
Is he in the same spot? Yes. Where?
In this
Hang on.
world, then.
Before I talk to him, I am going to investigate this.
Yes.
A tiny skinned hand rests palm down on the center of a huge pool of blood. On a nearby wall, someone has drawn a bloody circle pierced by jagged symbols. The skinned hand in the center of a pool is small and misshapen. Nothing else remains of the victim. It is immediately clear that the dashes and bleeding pinpricks decorating the circle are not random. This is a simple symbol drawn with careful intent. Unfortunately, it means nothing to you. So it's just the exact same thing.
Yes.
Let's go fishing! The glowing wire sinks into the water like a thin shaft of concentrated daylight. A muck-coated oddity hangs from the hook. You grab it. Cool. So, we got money, basically.
Naturally.
Great! She's no longer crooked. That's true.
Yes.
Hi, Folsom. He beckons at you, a hard, sharp motion, his jaw set, his teeth partly barred. Someone else was murdered in your absence, he says. A woman called Crooked Keek was killed beside the water. He turns his face from you. I ask that you share any new information that you have, and if you do not have any, find some. Do you have any new insights on the killer's motives? I do not. Weedle as a cornerstone in my plan for the city, he says, his voice tight. His death pains me and it will hurt the city in the years to come. He shakes his head slowly, tendons leaping in his neck. But Keek's death has only robbed the underbelly of her smile. I cannot imagine why she was a target. The killer might be mistaken. Confused is more likely.
It is done.
Well... Turn the book. Wait, this is the book? Oh, shit. Oh, Calistine. Oh, that's the book for this quest. Calistine's probably not gonna... I mean, Calistine's probably not gonna let me return it. I can now tell Mapper what I found. Okay, let's talk to Mapper. Although I don't really need to now, because I already... Wait, wasn't that just to get... Sticker refused to take me, blah, 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 blah. I found my way to the lair. The entrance to the Changing God Sanctuary is somewhere within. Oh, right. I was gonna go see if I could still go to their nest. Maybe to get some loots. Some sweet loots.
In this world,
Hey,
then.
dude. Can you take me to Funky Town? Please take me to your old lair. It's empty now. No sticka, no eggs. The creature regards you carefully. As if, Rindu, thank you for following. As if trying to discern your purpose. Then you catch a scent like fresh air sweeping through the tunnel, the equivalent perhaps a dismissing shrug. We take egg, friend. No need to pay. Thank you, sticka friend. Oh, this is it. This is the same place. Okay. So the only thing I didn't do here was activate this. This one, right? Everything else should still be activated.
I'm ready.
Unless I have to do it again since I left. I might have to do it again since I left.
As you wish.
I do have to
In
do it
this
again.
world, then.
Alright, Calistege. I'm gonna try and go across. I don't know if the game's gonna let me. It lets me go into the acid. But. Oh, I can go across. Okay. Okay, we're fine.
Go.
And I can't open the door.
On it.
Ow. Go.
How may I guide you?
Wait. Can't open that one. Right.
All right.
Yes.
What are you doing? No.
Yes. As you wish.
She won't go. What the hell?
Shall we?
That's just making me move. Damn it, Calistege.
Yes.
You know what? You know what? Screw you, Calistege. I don't need you anyway.
All right.
In this world, then.
Yeah, you just stay there. Have a good time. Oh, that was already open. So, some of these
Yes.
are unable to be turned on. So I wonder if this is even a thing.
I'm going.
Like that one I can't turn on. This one I can. Maybe? No, I can't. Did I just miss
Go.
my chance for this then? Okay, that's that. I don't think I can do this. Like, this isn't gonna work now. Oh well, let's just go.
I'm going.
Might have missed something there, but whatever. If you do this quest yourself, just brave the acid initially and try activating them all and see if it does anything. I don't know if it really does.
I'm ready.
Okay, so
In an instant.
I guess we could talk to Mapper just in case he gives us some experience or something.
Naturally.
What is in this mural? He looks more closely in his arms to recoil. Oh gods, it's even terrifying from here. He rubs at his skin as if trying to rid himself of a mural's image. His blue eyes look anywhere but at himself and he shivers bone deep. I don't envy you seeing that thing, friend. No, not at all. It wasn't that scary. He slaps his face a bit, bringing some flush to his cheeks, and smiles again. Anyway, I owe you a map, don't I? He takes a big breath and says, the White Death is hiding in a place called the Last Caves of... Oh! Oh, wait. This is different. Why was I thinking that he was just... Whatever. The White Death is hiding in a place called the Cave of Last Words. It's an old thieves' bolt hole. They say Sheila herself used it, but they don't say where it is. He smiles. Persistence pays, though. That's always been my watchword.
Updated my journal.
Updated my journal. There's one way to get to it through the Caravanserai, but it's sealed tight, and I never found a way in. But you can get there from the underground. The Sticano, they dug there. They can dig there again. Ah, okay. Have you been to the Stickalair? I can tell you what's in there.
I'm ready to learn something new.
Are you joking? Can you really? Tell me. He stares avidly at you, but his blue prosthetic eyes gleaming. As you speak, a space clears on his skin and a new line pulls themselves to the surface. He moans as if the throes of deep pleasure. The stickler, yes, like I was there. The eye clicks and whirs for a moment, and then he stares at the new tattoo. The smell. Did you notice the smell in the lair, like lightning and dust? He smiles. My thanks to you. You've done right by me. Have you heard anything about the murders? Murders? What murders? Alarm colors his face, and a faint red streak runs through his tattoos. No one tells me anything. One of the drawbacks of being a drifter, I suppose. No one thinks to keep you informed. Then he looks around. Of course, in a place like this, people don't generally talk to each other much anyway. Alright.
It is done.
Cool beats. I'm gonna check my quest log again here. Looking for... Right, Smetkina. For some reason, I thought that was... He was exchanging information to get to the lair that I was just at, but I was wrong. It was different. I was getting things mixed up. Level up. Oh, right.
Here. Now.
Oh no, I changed the tides to stupid. I wanted to be red. Idealist. It's boring. Alright, hang on. I'm gonna save first. Because I might change my mind. I might also take the other guy with me too instead, because he could use this sword. That might be good for her though. I'm trying to think like what I could use as far as skills go for... I could honestly use more combat stuff. So I might want to think about trying to do that. I don't really know though. I'm gonna try for... Extra effort would be really nice too. Ability or skill. You can choose between either improving or picking a new skill, or improving one of your abilities. You can only do this once per tier. Upgrade my thingy-ma-ding, or pick a new one. Inability decreases health by 2, measures the character's hardiness. That would be nice. Allows the character to act earlier. Inability causes the character to act later than normal. Oh, there's so much stuff I need to get though. Plus 15 bonus per level on difficult tasks marked with a skill. Inability confers. Access to memories of previous consciousnesses. Yeah. Healing. Expertly administer care of wounded allies. Apply the needed treatments through esoteries and ciphers. 5 bonus points per level healed when any healing ability is used. That's pretty nice. Leveling up is full of tough choices in this game. It definitely is, especially when you don't fully understand how everything works. Sprint across dangerous areas, navigating hazards and enemies with more alacrity than slower moving characters. I mean, that seems nice, but I don't know. I'm thinking I might get endurance. Maybe I should just do... Especially the first time around and you don't know how many points you'll have at the end and how often you need which skill. Yeah. I think I'm gonna get some more health. This is cool too, actually. I kind of like that. But
Did I learn that? Or remember it?
I don't know, like, I could have upgraded this, but it's cool. It's really cool. I don't know. That's cool. I haven't been using that. This game is hard. Alright, so, well, decision made. I have more life. Great.
Fine.
Every level, too. It's an investment. What are we doing? Look for Metkina in the Cave of Last Words. I can only get there by traveling underground. Right. Alright, right.
Yes.
We're talking to these dudes. Please take me to... thing. Hello, egg friend. You want to travel? Yes. Please take me to the Cave of Last Words. It's close to surface at top of city. Took another human there once. Should check travel where egg friend want. We go. It's pretty handy being friends with these insect dudes. That's for sure.
Who are you?
Oh, hi. The woman's skin is white, the color of alabaster, fresh ivory. Flat, black eyes surrounded by sharply pointed features stare coldly at you. She wears jet black hair cut straight at her shoulders. Her clothes are functional and drab. Her cloak is fastened by a necklace of 5 canisters, each of a different shape. She turns a black device over and over in her hands.
Where did you come from? How did you know where to find me?
Her startled expression becomes a dark glower. A keen blade flickers through her fingers. You're sure it wasn't there a moment ago. Did I invite her here? No, I wouldn't have done that. She leans in close to you. I wouldn't have thought it possible, but it appears we have found someone even more paranoid than poor Allegern. Is it really that important to know how I found you? Mapper told me where to find you. Who? I don't know. Wait. Him? That tattooed freak who can't stop talking about every speck of dirt he's ever set foot on. But how did he get here? What did he see? She casts her gaze around the cave as if to assure herself that nothing is missing. Her voice hardens. Maybe I need to hang a map or two around here and improve the decor. She began to pace, muttering to herself. Where was he? Cliff's Edge? Circus Minor? No, he was hiding, looking for something down below. That's why he came looking for me. Her eyes flash, triumphant. He's in the underbelly, isn't he? It'll be short work. He's slow. Doesn't use weapons well. Bit of a limp. Yes, just as soon as I... thanks for following our 3D mans. She sees you standing there. Her hand jerks, and the blade is there again, as if she'd forgotten you were there. Who in? The cast-off, right. She glances at your tattoo. How new are you? What were the circumstances of your birth? When did you happen? I was born recently, in the broken dome down at the Reef of Fallen Worlds. One eyebrow raises appraisingly. So you are the falling star. I've heard of you. Sagus's incessant buzzing reaches even though through these cave walls. Her eyes flick to your tattoo again, then back to her workbench. Suddenly the device is in her hand, even though you didn't see her pick it up. You're one of us, then. Disemboweling would just be a waste of time for you and a mess for me. She spits on the floor and scuffs it with her boot, all nervous energy. So what do you want from me? I heard you might know how to repair a device I found in the reef, something called a resonance chamber. The resonance? A glint of understanding shines in her eyes. Ah, yes, of course. You would have hid it there. A crooked grin plays about her corner of her mouth and she vanishes. I know who can help you, or did. She shakes her head. It slips away. My mind has holes in it. One of our brothers took a rusty scalpel to my thoughts, my memories. I can't. She trails off. She catches a hold of her table, and it seems to anchor her. Her eyes harden.
Making a note.
No, you must do something for me. She caresses the black and jagged device, knobbled and protruding with antenna, a sigil reminiscent of your tattoos emblazoned on it. This is Tasha's Merecaster. I want you to enter his mare and find out what you can about the jock. I'm convinced I'm convinced that that's the key. What is a mirror caster? Ha! Am I really the first one to say that word to you? Oh, you're in for a surprise, sweet sister. Every cast-off has one, just like every cast-off has this. She taps the tattoo on her head. No one knows what they're for. Adaris used to think they were byproduct of a transfer process, just like us. She seems lost in thought for a moment. Then she shakes her head. Wherever they came from, they can be used like a kind of temporal viewer to relive an event in the life of a cast-off whose mirror caster it is. That event is called the mirror. Can a mirror caster be used to spy on other cast-offs? Not spy, more like seeing a picture of their past, like watching them from inside their minds at times when they burned or raged or changed, when their life was a moment of flux. Why can't you enter the mirror? Do you think I've tried? Don't you think I've tried? She snarls in sudden rage, her knife hand-spun from your neck. Do you think I would waste my time with a newborn, a thief who steals into my home, if there were any chance I could do this myself? Her shoulders heave up and down with every angry breath. I try and my mind fills with static, like I'm talking to a Murden, only it slashes and stabs and burns me, and I can't. It'll only make things worse. Maybe it has already. She blinks then, confused. Why am I angry? Did you? She straightens, flipping the knife back into her coat. No, it'll be all right. Just find that damn jerk and I'll tell you whatever you need to know. What is a jock? You don't know? I thought it was a common instrument. No, it might not be so much anymore. One of the curses of a long life, she laughs raggedly. Fashions come and go before you even know they exist. Probably easier just to let them go or make new ones of your own. Like some of the other cast-offs. Sorry, no, not sorry. You should know this. You should know about things. History. That's what life is, knowing and doing. Metkina, you need to focus. Tell her what she needs. She breathes deeply. A jock is an ancient woodwind, and this one was kept in a sealed cave behind massive doors from a prior world. It had powers, but I can't remember what those powers were. If the jock is a key, what does it unlock? Her brow furrows, confused for a moment. She curses. If I knew that, I wouldn't need your help, would I? She lets out a long sigh. He stole that memory from me, all right. If you can't find it for me, it will all come back. All of it, if you can find it for me. How do I enter the mirror? An almost palpable hunger fills her eye, a yearning. Hold the mirror caster. You'll feel a tug immediately. Don't resist. Empty your mind and let the tides pull you into the mirror caster. She collects herself. Then just watch him. Watch for that jock. When you see what he's done with it, pull your mind away from Tasha's and tell me what you saw. Oh, and don't try and change anything, she says, almost as an afterthought. Okay. What do you mean, don't change anything? Nothing serious. She says it as though speaking to an overly concerned child. She laughs suddenly. It's not like you can change the past, but I need you to learn a specific piece of information, and if you change something, then you might go the wrong way. Okay. Yeah, I'm hoping that she'll be a companion, maybe, once we restore her memory. That'd be cool. I'll do it. She plucks Tasha's mirrorcaster from the table. She looks at it, at you, and back at the device. She licks her lips as if weighing her options, and then, before she can hesitate anymore, slips it back into your hands. It's surprisingly heavy. Do it, she says, her voice heavy. Find the jock. Bring me my answers. You focus on the device, and you feel something tugging at your mind. Here we go. Okay. Everything is wrong. Tasha's body, yours now, clings like a wet cloak. The world is too bright for nighttime. Everything is too clear. Distance is too close, edges too sharp. Memories like blood flies buzz in your head, whizzing away before you can catch them. Hard-ridden Aneen heave their flanks and huff behind you. Like you, they've gone too long without rest, and like Metkina, a much newer Metkina, as drawn by a pondering portraitist portraitist, too soft, too fresh, too pretty, all wrong. On the wastes, you see a light of campfires, and in the humble village before you, a bigger, brighter fire burns. It's a pyre. Inside, a body that's too large burns too slowly. Greasy coils of smoke rise in the night. Villagers circle the bonfire, wailing and shaking. The headman's rough voice continues the ritual. From exile, you are released. Among the mourners, some echo. You are released. He throws a handful of powder into the fire, metal salts perhaps, and a spray of shining embers rises into the night. Mostly gold, some green, some purple. From wrath, you are released. They echo him. As the embers float out toward the plain and fade among the stars and campfires, you hear Matkino whisper recently, you are released. Matkina, listen to me. We need to find the Jock and protect your memories. Try to remember who you are and why you're here. Perception. Stare at the distant campfires and try to see what they are. What's going on here, Medkina? Oh god, did I save before this? I have a feeling this is gonna take we're gonna need to take a very specific route. We're just trying to find the Jock. Is that gonna come up besides this? We need to find the Jock and protect your memories. I guess we'll use perception first. Success. You squint your unnatural eye and focus until the pyre, the village, everything else fades away. At least the blurry campfires resolve into something crisper, and you see the faint shadows of men around them, men in long coats and broad hats, painstakingly cleaning their jazales and daggers. There are perhaps 100 of them. Matkina sees you staring and grunts, "Sand Knights." From her tone, it's obvious that they're no friends of hers. Or yours. Try to remember who you are and why you're here. The memories buzz, and in the sound are flickers of meaning. This body is you, Artash. You're a soldier under the command of someone named Paj Reckon. You're a cast-off who can use the tides to destroy memories. You were sent here for some thing, an object, but exactly what you can't recall. There's something more to it, something insistent, important, and endlessly elusive. No matter how hard you try, it becomes no clearer. Is it the Jock? I guess we'll bring it up. We need to find the Jock. I don't know, that's, I guess. Find the what? Matkina stares at you dumbfounded and then shakes her head. Have a little respect, Tash. This is my home. We're here to save people I've known for years. A moment later, she adds, not to mention the only danger to memories around here is you, Tosh. Try your title surge on me, and I'll burn those fancy eyes right out of your skull. There's a smile on her face, like this isn't the first time Tosh has teased her, or she's promised a grisly fate in response. I have a feeling this direct method isn't going to work, though, but... what's going on here? Matkina answers without looking your way. Her eyes are locked in the flare and the flesh inside it. It's what they do when one of the hill people dies. Never a burial, always upward. Plains people, like me. We can bring kindling and weep, but we're forbidden to join the chant. After a pause, she adds, I never got used to the smell of it, even when they burnt juniper and balsam. It's worst at an end. She shrugs. At the end. When it's done, there's no more wailing. For them, it's really a release. She looks thoughtful, but says no more. Now there's no laughter in her glare, and for a moment she truly looks like the woman who sent you here. Enough, Tash, she hisses. They are mourning a murdered man over there, and him? She points to the headman. He's as good as raised me. I know these people. This means something to me, even if the whole world and everything else is just a barking joke to you. She looks away from you and back to the pyre. I knew that wasn't going to work. Barge into the ritual. You pushed past Meskina and into the ring of light cast by the burning body. The headsman gives you no acknowledgement, and before you can say the word, Meskina jerks you back. Lack, Nibber! These things matter. To them, to me. When the ritual at last ends and the mourners move on, she leads you to the smoldering pile where the headsman stands. He sniffs as you approach. Kina, he says, and a stranger. His eyes are large, milky marbles. He put his hands on her shoulders. You return in unpleasant times. She touches his cheek. I return because the times are unpleasant, Neng. Without another word, the three of you withdraw from the fire and enter Neng's home. Neng's home is humble and small, hardly furnished and wholly undecorated. On entering, he lowers his weary bulk onto a hassock and gestures towards similar cushions for you and Matkina. Then begins without preamble. They hung him from a tree, old Garib, took their daggers on him, called it pruning. Blind to others' expressions, he has become oblivious to his own, and he wears his pain with anger nakedly. Pain and anger. With a grunt, he continues. They sent him home by skimmer, along with a compact they'd made to plains people. He waves at the crumpled sheet of paper on the floor. Tick read it to me. They've promised we put an end to the menace, Kina. He shakes his head. Why? We've always paid the blood price for whatever harm we've done. You know that. They know that. Yes, Matkina says softly. But the Sand Knights won't take shins. You know that. He grunts. The militia is here to help, Neng. We are who we stand for. The small, the threatened, the hunted. That's who we are, too. She takes his hand. Come away. If you tell the knights you're going, they won't force a fight. They'll have bigger battles ahead of you, believe me. This is our place, Kina. Paj Reckon will give you a home. Trust her. Neng is silent. I don't know. Forget about trust, Neng. Think about death. When the Sand Knights are gone, there won't be villagers left to light the pyre. The world is full of places, Neng. This hill of yours is nothing special. You don't need to trust Paj Reckon, just trust Kina. Read the crumpled note. You unfold the compact sent by the Sand Knights. The writing is neat, plain, small, and seems to go on tightly stacked lines. In essence, it is a vow to safeguard the villagers and towns of the Verxulian wastes from the menace in Colne Village. The knights promise that they will undertake steps to assure that the killers of Colne Village never harm anyone again. Extermination is never mentioned, merely implied. Beneath the Knight Marshal's chop are signatures from various burghers, mayors, and elders of towns and villages on the waste. The knights ask nothing in return from them. The signatures vow nothing. They merely endorse, justifying whatever the knights undertake. The world is full of places, the hill. You don't need to trust Paj Reckon, just trust Kina. Neng cocks his wide head. Why would I doubt her? He smiles. There was a plain child. A beautiful boy wandered too far into the waste and was gone. We all gave him up, but Kina? He puts his hand on her shoulder. She left that night with a knife and a lamp and a rope, just said, I'll bring him back. Hardly spoke back then, our Kina. She sighs. It made things easier. Weeks later, she comes back, the boys riding her shoulders, a string of Chirag heads dragging behind her. He fixes his blind eye upon you. When she speaks, I trust, but even if Paj Reckon sets land aside for us, we can't just leave. It's not that simple. Plains people can't understand. There are hundreds of Sand Knights camped a few hours' ride from here. You need to make a decision. The only time it's too late to start a new life is when you're dead. Give your people a chance to survive. Neng nods slowly. You're right, of course, even if you've got the manners of a Marg marauder. After a minute, he turns his blind eye to Matkina. But we can't go without the jock. Ah, the jock, yes. The what? Matkina asks. Up the hill behind the gate. The cave's been sealed for generations. Inside is the jock. It's what helps us keep our worst instincts inside. If we leave its song... He trails off, gesturing to the pyre outside. After a pause, he leans in, whispers in Matkina's ear. Now, he says, you alone in the plains, people know how to open the gate. You alone of all the plains people know how to open the gate. You work your way up to the terraced hillside, leaving Nen to make his case to his people. In the distance, you see that the Sand Knights are on the move, riding hard toward Colton Village. Nang is seen to make his case to them, too. When you arrive at the cave and its huge ancient gateway, Matkina shakes her head. For years, I wondered about this, she says. The hill people tell a fable that the first men and women came out of here. They said the gate would only open when it was time for people to disappear, she shrugs. One way to keep kids from poking around and disturbing the jock, I guess. Something she said stirs your mind, and your memories jingle like a wind chime. God, now I wish I put points into this. That's pretty good still. Yeah. At once, a glaring light shines over your mission, as painful as it is revealing. You're not here to help Raj Reckon solve Colne Village. You're here to help Paj destroy it. What? She knew the village's secret. Knew about the jock. Most importantly, she knew the Sand Knights would come. Knew about their compact. The plan isn't to take the villagers out of the Knight's way. In fact, it depends on causing the very battle Matkina promised would be averted. When the Knights arrive, Paj will destroy the jock, forcing the hill people into their feral state, unleashing them upon the Knights, weakening one of the malicious forces, and Paj is coming in person to see that it all goes right. Hang on. So Matkina is just like she's infiltrating undercover, I guess. Or am I just undercover? I imagine she is as well. Matkina, we can't open the gate. Paj Reckon is planning to destroy the jock and with it the entire village. But we still have to open it, because we have to get it, right? So, go towards the gate. Matkina shrugs and quickly disarms the dozen ancient locks that have been kept the cavern sealed. With a gasp, the gate opens, and without waiting, she steps through. You follow. What you find within is no cave tunnel. In fact, there's no stone at all. Rather, it's a smooth hallway made of greenish, phosphorescent ceramic. Under its glow, you and Matkina take on the look of the unburied dead. There seem to be no side passages, no chambers, merely a single path that curls ever inward, like you are in the shell of some great nautilus. From time to time, the walls are adorned with lifeless ciphers, arcane charts, even scorch marks as if from a struggle. They tell no tale for you to hear. At last you reach the tunnel's end, and there on a pedestal before you is what must be the jock, a kind of reed flute that plays an endless, formless song, at once almost too faint to hear and too haunting to bear. Whether the music is caused by the breeze blowing through the tunnel or by the jock itself is impossible to determine. The ceramic pedestal behind it, alone of all the devices in the cave, still pulses with the living energy. That energy causes the jock to float a fraction of an inch in the air. It doesn't rest on a pedestal so much as hang above it. So, says Matkina, here it is. Examine the jock. While the jock and the wistful wind-blown notes is what you came for, it is the pedestal that draws your attention first. Hidden within some secret mechanism holds the jack aloft, untouched and motionless. What do you think this place is? Matkina shrugs. It could be anything. You're the one who always says a person will go crazy trying to understand the world. But from the way she holds a little breath in as she ends the sentence, it's clear that she can't stop there. Crazy or not, she wants a meaning to it. I think the hill people must have come from here, she says. Or maybe come through here. She shrugs again. But we're not here to find answers. We're here to get that, she points at the jock. Well, are you going to take it? Matkina shoots you a look as sharp as her knives, then steps forward to the pedestal. She sizes it up for a moment, then darts her hand to grab the jock. The grace and speed of the motion is uncanny, but not enough. The instant her hand grabs the pedestal, energy lances upward, convulsing her body. For a moment, she's paralyzed, and so are you, by the sight of it. And then her face, wrecked with pain and determination, she forces herself free. She falls to the floor, smoking, groaning, but alive. The jock still clutched in her blistering grip. Pushing herself to her feet, she mutters, "Thanks for the help, Tash." She gestures back. The way you came. Let's go. Oh, there she is. They're waiting for you at the gate. A woman you immediately know to be Paj Reckon. Oh, that's Podrick, maybe. I don't know. And her bodyguard. A half-dozen tattooed cast-off with drab armor, mismatched weapons, and the languid readiness of predators. Past them, in the village below, you see the Sand Knights have arrived and are meeting with Neng and the villagers. Without warning, one of the bodyguards lowers his weapon and Matkina and fires, but she's already moving and takes a glancing blow. A knife in her hand as another glaive aims a new device. Before Matkina can fling her blade, she's frozen, trapped in shimmering energy. Paj herself aims a tiny cipher at the jock. The others watch, paying you with mind. Attack them before they have a chance to hurt Matkina and the jock. Am I just supposed to get... I'm supposed to find out what happened to the jock, right? And then tell her so that she can find it? Or am I actually supposed to, like... get it? Attack them. You rush forward knowing that you have only an instant until the killer's eyes and arms are turned to you. The instant is shorter than you expect, and it is the last you know. Pain engulfs you. Your body is flung backward onto the gate, a smoldering ruin that has just enough consciousness to know that this is the end. And then it's over, and you're sloughing off Tasha's body, Tasha's mind, and it's all dark. Huh. As your consciousness rises from the shadow of the mirror, something clicks in your mind. Something has changed deep inside you, but what? Matika stares at you, the shock painfully obvious on her face. What did you do? I remember Tosh cutting me. I see the holes in my mind. I remember him forcing me to the ground, tearing out of my history with the tides. But I have other memories now. They're real. Tosh didn't do it. I saw him shot with an energy bolt. He was dead. He couldn't violate me, but did he try? Didn't he? She holds her head in her hands, shaking, her voice becoming thick. The two strands of memory. This is pulling me apart. She looks up at you, tears streaming down her cheeks. No, it's pulling me back together. I remember now. That hole it's almost gone. You changed reality. You changed it. She stands, drying her tears with her sleeves. I don't know if you meant to do that, but you've done more than your part of the deal. You asked about the resonance chamber. I know it. Mazov's the guy you want. He can fix anything. He might have even helped design the chamber you're talking about. Your best bet is to look for him in the cast-off sanctuary. Mail a vest. Great. Can you take me there? I could use your help. I'll take you, but don't expect me to hold your hand. Probably better than I bring you personally anyway. Keep an eye on you. Make sure you don't get lost or killed. She walks to her table and unrolls a map of the Sagas Protectorate. We're not going to find it by walking there. The entrance is secret, known only to our kind. Here. She points to a spot on the map, many kilometers to the northeast of Sagas Cliffs. The Valley of Dead Heroes. There's a hidden portal in the necropolis, and in case something happened to me, memorize this. She writes the numbers 3431 down on a slip of paper, holds it in front of your eyes for several seconds, then crumples it in her hand. It's a code. It'll make sense when we get to the necropolis. Do I need to write that down? Do I? 3431. Okay, just in case. We'll need an airship to get to the valley. The ladder leads to the caravanserai. We should be able to hire a vessel there without too much difficulty. With a glance around the cave, she says, I can't say I'll be sad to leave this behind. Okay, we'll need an airship. The ladder goes, we should be able to hire a vessel. Okay. Thank you, let's go.
I'm ready to learn something new.
Hello, Adtham. Welcome to the stream. Well, I was right. She is indeed a friend. So, she's got leather armor and a cloak. No ciphers. Warp dash. Perception, quick fingers, and stealth. Never gains lasting damage when knocked unconscious. Huh. She seems pretty cool. She has a sonic blade for a weapon. But she can't use... She can use medium weapons, but she's good at light weapons. Furtive Jack who murders? That is great. Medkina is the kind of ally you want on your side, rather than watching your back. Cool. Medkina is the deadliest assassin in the Protectorate, and known as such. Ixie Fury, thank you for following. Welcome. Well, this is cool. I'm thinking, I don't know. I guess it's better now that we have her, but we need a tanky person now. I'm thinking maybe we should pick up that guy in like Aligurn instead of Calistige. I'm gonna see what she says when I try and turn this quest in. Because she might be really pissed at me for trying to give away that book, so
As you wish.
you know, we'll see.
Fine.
Fine. Ceiling has collapsed. The final words of countless men and women are scrawled upon the stone wall. Some apologize to loved ones while others raged. If you only left their names. Huh. That's all the people she killed, I suppose. All right.
Go.
Let's go. Though weathered, the rungs of this ladder are firm and strong. At the top of the ladder, you can see a closed hatch and can also discern the levers that hold the hatch snugly closed. Ascend. Excuse me? These guys are silver? That's a little weird. Just a slight bit weird. Oh, Mahdan. Where am I? I've not been up here before. Tranquility's Rest. Sleep location. I'd like to go there. I thought this was in the Carabinier thing. That's cool. I mean, I guess I should rest.
Yes.
Am I? Who's leveling up? Me? Yeah. Balls.
I've learned something new.
I think that's gonna help a lot.
Of course.
I guess we'll rest. Just because we're leaving, maybe we won't get a chance. Are you looking for a place to ease? She speaks. Yes. Quiet room. Forgive me for asking, but are you human? There is more to this woman's charms than long legs and sweet words. She's giving off some kind of calming pheromone. Weird. Your perfume seems to contain some kind of pheromones. Are you manipulating me? She smiles faintly. If calming can be said to be manipulating, I suppose I am, but it is nothing more than that. I cannot control minds or influence thoughts. My scent seems to relax people. Another trick I learned convinced me that opening a hostel might lead to success. Can you use your calming abilities to put me into a trance? She looks bemused. No one has ever asked me something like this before, and normally I would refuse for fear of some complication, and perhaps retaliation for that. But I sense a certain affinity between us, a kindness we share. I don't think any harm will come of it. If you feel it will help, I will do it. She reaches out to you. Now take my hands and close your eyes. As you take her hands, a scent of baking bread and honey overwhelms you, and she begins to sing into a soft but resonant contralto. The melody fills your head, making it heavy with slumber so that your chin drops to your chest. You feel like you're being lowered gently into a warm bath. The water closes over your head, but there's no fear of drowning. You have returned to the womb, where all is comforting darkness and the steady pulse of a beating heart. Why am I going to the place of dead? Because this is my womb. You're looking a lot more rested than you usually do. This is how you wake up naked in a backstage alley. Yeah. I still don't understand why coming back here is important. I mean, I get it's cool that I don't actually die and have to reload, but nothing actually happens when I come here so far. So that doesn't count as rest. That counts as being dead. So that's good. Great. Didn't get any rest. All right. It's another way to get back there, but I don't know. I like a room for the night. How much is it? Is it more than 4? That's so much cheaper than the other person. What a freaking ripoff. Oh wait, 60 shins. Wait, what? I thought it said 20. Never mind. It's not cheaper.
My thanks.
All right, whatever.
That's the stuff.
Oh. You open your eyes and see a hooded face of Folsom's messenger. Her eyes are bleary and slightly dazed. It seems possible that she hasn't slept since you last saw her. Another murder in the Undercity last night, she growls, while you were sleeping. She runs her fingers through her greasy hair. It was an itinerant jack named Manth Pa. Folsom wants to know if you've learned anything new. Wouldn't wait around if I were you. The other thief guy. Oh, 20 per person. Yeah, you're right.
All right.
Is that loot? Save in case she thinks I'm stealing. Nope. Beside the bed is a handsome and well-made night table with a single drawer, a large open book on top of it. The pages of the book are made of thick vellum, and it appears to be an atlas of the region. The book is open to a map that depicts the city of Sagus Cliffs, the Valley of Dead Heroes nearby, a range of mountains in the north labeled at the Ossifigin Range, and a circular desert farther to the east marked at the Lost Sea. A thin strip of fabric has been placed between the open pages. A second fabric strip marks another page. Look for names of nearby settlements. Besides Sagus Cliffs, you only see a few other cities and towns. In the center of the circular desert are a large blue dot labeled the Oasis of Mirajolios, and a smaller dot immediately next to it, Jerboa. On the far side of the desert is another city, Heref. On one end of the Valley of Dead Heroes is a dot labeled the Necropolis. It's unclear whether this is a settlement or just a site of interest. Examine the page marked by the other fabric strip. You see another full-page map, this time representing a region called Agarkala. It seems to be located somewhere to the northwest of Sagus Cliffs and is defined by a massive ring on the mountains labeled at the Clock of Kala. The mountain range is so perfectly round that it was almost certainly engineered by artificial means in the distant past. Several cities and towns dot the landscape, but the largest and most prominent is named Sama Imidu. After a few moments, you turn back to the map of the Sagus Cliff region. Alright, the age of the book. The book doesn't seem new. Its pages are worn from frequent use, but that's all you can discern. It might be anywhere from 10 to 50 years old. No dates are stamped on any of the pages. Examine the night table instead. Open the drawer. The drawer appears to be locked, but you can hear something rattling inside. The noise is faint but constant, as if the object were alive. Quick fingers. This lady. Just gonna go for it. After a bit of effort, you hear a satisfying click and the drawer opens. Inside, you find a small ornamental comb that looks like a jeweled insect. In fact, it is a jeweled insect, a biomechanical marvel that is very much alive. The pincers seek to fasten themselves upon locks of hair, and its wings allow it to hover over the wearer's head. Several strands of hair are still clutched in the comb's pincers. They are a vibrant purple. A quest item, huh? Interesting. Can I ask her about it? apparently not. Airship captain. Okay, well,
Like a whisper.
interesting. Oh, wait. Oh, we're rested, so we get... Oh, that's cool. You get a bonus for being rested. Sweet. The most
ready.
secure inn in town. Yeah, no kidding. Just, like, waltz in and take whatever you want. To Government Square... No, I want to go... We gotta go back to the other part of the caravan or whatever. Yeah.
It is done.
It is done. This goes... Oh. I didn't actually mean to click that right away, but it's fine. It's fine. Hopefully this goes to the other part of the thing that I was already at, because I need to go turn this book in. Okay, is this where I've already been? No.
Ready.
This is not where I've already been. It's fine, though. Psst. Hello. Everything about this slender young man says thug, from his scar-slashed eyebrows to the calloused hand hovering over his hip, where a dagger would hang, but he doesn't have one. Instead, Flower kicks his hands in a single apron string from his pocket. He is apparently a baker. Stand still, you shine, he says, and peers over your shoulder. You follow his gaze to an armored soldier who is loitering in the public square. That levy's been following me for days. Can't even stop for a piss without checking side to side. You sure he's following you? Put it like this, he says, licking his lips. I know when I'm being followed. I've seen him on my track from dawn to dark for 3 days. Dawn to dark. I ain't done nothing wrong. And it's worse than that, he says, wringing his hands. That's my levy. What do you mean he's your levy? I'm a citizen, he says, as if this explains it. When it becomes clear it hasn't, he groans. Every levy is made from a citizen, he says. This one was made for me. Look, I can explain why, but I know this one's mine. I feel it, right? And now it's coming for me. Look, he won't leave me alone, right? I gave a year of my life to make him, and I thought that was that. Now I catch him standing in the street outside the bakery, whispering to himself, playing with that carving of his. His teeth graze his lips as he leans closer. He even tried to talk to me. Levies ain't supposed to know who they came from, right? They ain't supposed to know who you are. He wavers, gathering his courage. Could you talk to him? Find out what he wants. All right, I will. He nods again toward the armored man who stands in the distance away, in the public square. He's the only levy in the district, so you can't miss him. Plus, he ain't smiling like all the others, and he's holding some charred wooden thing in his hands.
Making a note.
You need anything else? What is normal behavior for a levy? They are... He hesitates, raising his hands as if he's trying to constrain his response before he lets it escape his mouth. They work for the people who make the laws, right? And if someone breaks the laws, they track them down, always smiling, mind you. Figured my levy would be an unhappy kid. Figures. Okay. This is... Oh, this is the place I'm supposed to be, actually, I think. Surgery center. This old man's skin is covered in makeup, painstakingly drawn to resemble dark stone. His eyes widen briefly as he notices you, and his face and neck hardens into actual obsidian for a moment. Then he smiles and nods at you, his features mobile once more. Welcome, welcome, he says. Sorry about the stone. Polymorphic flesh modification, you see. I didn't see you walk up, and I assumed you were going to cut my throat and take my surgical parlor for yourself. Hey, the day's young. Why would you think such a thing? I do good business here, the old man shrugs. If I were a younger man looking to make a name for myself in the city, I'd kill me too. My surgical parlor is a marvel of the prior world, you see. Just pick an item or service, pay me my outrageous fees, and after only a short or long period of time, a period of fairly safe but incredible agony, you walk away with some horrible Numenera bits whirring away inside you. He pokes a few buttons on a device strapped to his wrist, and lights twinkle across a length, a dark, glassy lens focused on you. Well, interested? Can't help but noticing you're a very honest man. Well spotted, he said, nodding. Clear streaks of quartz run up his prominent cheekbones, revealing the muscles beneath. It's a side effect of my modifications. Couldn't lie to you if you begged me to. He shrugs. Honestly, it's usually a hindrance to my businessmen, but people seem to like it. It's a blessing, in my opinion. He's a masterful salesman, yeah. Show me a list of your items and services. Of course, he says, tapping a few buttons on the broad device encircling his wrist. The lens beam a cone of light directly into your eye, which immediately begins watering. Blinking, you see a menu of items seemingly hanging in the air. Sounds the safest. An artificial eyeball. How painful are these procedures? The encroaching darkness? What are blood nanites? The Numenera analyzer? It's quite safe, he says, nodding. Most of the time, in almost 3 out of 5 cases, and the procedure couldn't be simpler, the drones simply saw your skull open, shove an implant into the right spot, and seal everything back up. He clasps his hands. Once they do that, the implant will help you identify the purpose of unknown Numenera. It costs 95 shins, but it'll pay for itself. Sure, why not? Drill my head open. The drone's metallic arms pin you in place, and you hear a circular saw spinning faster. Faster. Well, you can't claim Jerna didn't warn you. The blades clip through your skull in a heartbeat, pincers pry loose cap aside. You're distantly aware of struggling against the drone's unyielding arms before a metal spine jams itself into your brain. Everything goes white. Ow. After mending your breached skull, the machine releases you. You stagger, but keep your feet as the implant begins humming. Swirls of text streak past your visions as the thing comes to life. Interesting little thing, isn't it? Jerna says. It does get puzzled by larger Numenera, but it should be able to handle most smaller things you find scattered around. He scratches his nose. Is there anything else I can help you with? Numenera analyzer. Interesting. So, okay. Oh, neat. Whispering directly into your mind in the voice of a somewhat befuddled gentleman of advanced years, this implant bestows its user the arcane and obscure knowledge from a mental copy of a long-gone nano. Often this knowledge is indecipherable and confusing, but at other times it's useful. Okay. Huh. So is this only gonna affect me if I have these particular skills? Or I guess it will just make the tasks easier in general, right? Because you don't have to necessarily have the skills to do that. So that's pretty neat. I kind of want to buy more. I want to see what else. Clawed gauntlets. Blood nanites. What's this one? It's quite simple. The drones fill your blood with millions of tiny machines that promptly begin devouring you alive until you learn to differentiate between your body and anything that's not supposed to be in there. After that, they'll do levels best to purge toxins and illness from your body with every pump of your heart. In case it wasn't clear, this one is really going to hurt. Paid in advance. Yeah, he says this one's gonna really hurt, so it'll probably do like 10 damage or something. Encroaching darkness. Beguiling name, isn't it? I'm glad you like it, because I'm not quite sure what it does. It's a living creature, you see, that crawls around your body while you sleep. Eventually it takes root in your nervous system and does something. Could be good, could be bad, could be both. Certainly won't be boring. Ooh, I like it. I want it. Certainly not boring. I'll take the darkness, please. Please give me encroaching darkness. The drone closes in, opening various underhatches. Tendrils purge out of the cavities. winding around your head. Icy, oily daggers plunge through your spine, worming down through your arms and legs. Your muffled screams sound very far away. Ouch. The tendrils abruptly unwind from your face, leaving you gasping for air. You lie still for a moment, fleeing your new tenant writhing through the dark channels of your body, leaving tangled brands on the surface of your skin in its wake. Do you know, Jernah says, that you're the first person to buy this enhancement? Well, I say enhancement, but I'm not really sure, as I said. He claps his hands. Well, can I interest you in anything else? I got a new ability, the Encroaching Darkness. Heals 8 points of health. 1 use per day. Oh, that's awesome, actually. This tiny ink black blot is a living creature made of thick fluid. When applied to the skin, it can shape itself into a number of different kinds of black tattoos, shifting easily into complex glyph shapes. When the wearer is asleep, the dark crawls around the skin, changing into new patterns, and it finds a new place in the body to rest. When it has found a suitable spot, its tendrils dig into the flesh, providing a new form of restorative boon. Oh, so it changes every day. Oh, cool. The exact nature and origin of this encroaching darkness is hard to determine. Aeon priests have debated whether an individual darkness is in fact one entity or an entire civilization living on another being's skin. The relation of the darkness to the wearer is meant to be symbolic, but the symbiosis appears imperfect. Oh, that's so cool. I like it. Could use it right now, actually. But I don't know. Probably should save it for combat. However, I do need to heal. Do I have anything else that heals me? I don't think so. What are the clawed gauntlets? Okay, so that's an unarmed thing. No thank you. I'm probably not going to be using that. The jagged memory. Tricky one. It's a mesh that fuses through your skin, leaving jagged marks like tattoos. When you attack, you always hit your enemy's old wounds, even or if they weren't there before. I told you it was a tricky one. You hit your enemy's old wounds. So, more criticals maybe? Or something like that? Artificial eyeball? Very popular item. The meat ones wear out so easily. This one's never does. And it'll help you spot things normal eyes miss. All in all, it's a one-time cost of 110 shins, and it's tremendously unpleasant operation. It might kill me. I want it though. Because, you know. But I don't want to die, so I'm gonna use this.
I can breathe again.
Okay. I want to be able to see secrets. That's badass. I want the artificial eyeball. I want to be a cyborg. A drone holds your head mercilessly rigid while another approaches. Claws outstretched. Plock. Your head is screaming at you, and you're pretty sure you're screaming back. A third drone, a gleaming blur behind the pane, approaches with your new eye, gently clasping his claw. Shunk. Jernah. The drone releases you. Groaning and clutching your head, you feel the new eye squirming into your socket, connecting with all the nerves there. Then the pain stops. You study your hand, noticing a scar on your hand that you've never seen before. Amazing, isn't it? Jernah says. Are you in need of anything else? Maybe. Maybe. Artificial eyeball. Perception skill. Oh, cool. It actually just... I basically bought the perception skill. That's super cool. Even though she's really good at it already, but whatever. Who knows? We might not have her forever. I'm kind of obsessing about this right now, guys. Just saying. There's not that many I didn't buy. What are these again? Oh, yeah. I mean, that could be super useful, but... If it said it was going to heal me, then I might be more inclined to do it. So,
I'm ready.
Thanks.
Yes,
What is
now.
this? What is this? Silent and ancient machine casts a long shadow. As you study it, your breath stutters in your chest and your hands shake. You can't help feeling as though you have stood in this exact spot before. Try and remember. We'll probably rest again, actually, before we go, I guess. I'll just use all my stuff. Whatever. You close your eyes to better concentrate, sinking into the currents of memory that does not belong to you, or at least the body you are in, and you hear the thunderous heartbeat of the operation generator calling you from across centuries. You open cold, focused eyes, ignoring the screams, the drifting tangles of black smoke. Your attention is solely focused on the health of the machine's heartbeat. You reach into the hissing guts of the generator, adjusting and tuning, hoping. The heartbeat fades into the past. Your hand, your body's hand, rests on the rusty surface of the long-dead generator. Your hand slips over the cobbled-together components and greasy cables, the buttons worn by frequent use. It is a strange accomplishment, this machine. Clumsy but deft. Amateurish but masterful. Only a brilliant mind could have melded so many desperate parts into a functional device. Unfamiliar memories whisper to you. This device was used, though you don't know how, to generate a field that unmoored everything within it from time itself. Your fingers scrape a rough patch. Lifting them, you see a circular symbol etched into the side like a maker's mark. All right.
Moment.
Cool.
It's done.
This house was reduced to rubble when part of the cliff face collapsed. There's evidence that squatters have slept here recently. A ragged blanket, rotted fruit peelings, and footprints in the dust. Something scratches deep within the rubble. It sounds like someone or something is in there. Dig deeper. You crawl partway inside, pushing against boards and a thin slab of slate. A small girl gasps, throwing up a hand to block the sudden light. She's young, no more than 10 or 11. She's made herself as small as possible to fit inside the tiny gap of the rubble. Her hair is dark and curly. She pulls herself deeper into the rubble away from you. Come out, I won't hurt you. She shakes her head vigorously, trying to shoo you away. There's a voice behind you. I told you patience would pay off, lads. Oh no! I gave her away! Oh, I'm so mean. Some thugs stroll over. They all carry weapons at their sides, though they walk with a cocky assurance of those who don't expect to need them. I swear I checked this hovel, says one of them. She wasn't here. No one was. How did this draft find her so easily? He gestured dismissively in your direction. Don't fret it, beggar. The thugs look you up and down, then call at your direction of the rubble. Come on, little bird. Doesn't matter how good you are at hiding, you had to come out sometime. Rin. The girl huddles behind you, keeping you between her and the thugs. Even so, it's obvious she's not sure about you either.
Don't let them take me, please!
Why were you looking for her? The little urchin ran away from her home. Her mother asked us to find her and bring her back safely. Is that true? No, she grabs your wrist. They're bad men. They want to seal me. Kidnappers. Now that's just crude. The man crosses his arms. We're delivery men, that's all. The men and motivations of our employers ain't none of your business. Ain't none of our business. He sighed, dropping his facade. He turns to you with a look that pleads for understanding. But all right, yeah. There is a slaver who put up a fine bounty if we bring her back. It's all legal and none of your business. Best you stay out of it. He says the word kindly enough, but his colleagues' hands are on their weapons. It's not like I want to work for slavers, but jobs are scarce as it is. You can't take me. Her grip on your wrist tightens. She found me. She has the discoverer's rights. He raises an eyebrow, a amused smirk playing on his face. Is that so? Well, Spider Jack, what do you say? Is she coming with us, or are we taking her from you? Deception. Her master has grown tired of waiting for you. I've been sent to collect the girl in your stead and to tell you the bounty's off. Yeah. That's right. I'm good at deception. What? That double-crossing, stabbing lack nibbler. She promised. He waves an angry hand in the air. Fine. See if we work for her ever again. Come on, lads. Yay.
Oh gods, thank you. They were going to take me back to that woman. I've never met anyone so cruel. When she found me the first time she even... My apologies. I'm still out of sorts. You have my thanks and grace, sir.
I'm not a sir. All of us are women. For a moment, it looks like she might hug you, but the last moment, she seems to think better of it and pulls up short of a half-dozen steps away. She collects herself, standing straight with her shoulders back, then she nods. The gesture's so polite, it's almost formal. Yeah, it's pretty good voice acting.
My name is Rin. My home and hearth and bread are yours to use. Except, I don't have any of those things.
She blushes then, looking around self-consciously. What's a little girl doing all alone here? The girl looks up at you, her forehead creasing a little in irritation. My name is Rin. But then she hesitates and looks down, blinking. She reaches into her pockets absent-mindedly. Did I forget to tell you that? She stands there motionless for a second, then stops and looks up at you again. No, I think I did. She looks up at you. I'm sorry, she says. My name is Rin. My food and fire are yours to use before you go. Without seeming to realize what she's doing, the girl brushes her hand through her hair, and you see the side of her head has been shaved. Large stitches run along her scalp, holding together an ugly cut longer than her hand. The wound is purple and angry looking, only just beginning to heal. It can't be more than a week old. Oops, sorry, just bumped my microphone. What happened to your head? Her body grows tense for a moment, her eyes darting around as if deciding whether or not to turn away. She glances at the rubble where she had hidden from the thugs. She relaxes, though her eyes are still wary. I was running away. There were some people, bad people. I ran away and got hurt. Who stitched your head together after you got hurt? For a moment, her eyes flash with panic again, and they dart around like she's getting ready to run. Then she touches the side of her head gingerly. I don't remember what happened exactly, but I got away and I ran and I ended up here. What people were you running away from? She opens her mouth and closes it again. She nods and puts her hand back in her pocket absentmindedly. I don't remember. I think they were stealers. No. What's the word? Robbers? They wanted to rob me. Are you okay? She makes a dismissive gesture towards her temple. It's fine. It looks a lot worse than it is, and a lot better than yours, anyway. She smirks, touching the side of her head. The haircut's pretty awful, though, isn't it? I don't think they really needed to shave quite this much, do you? I don't know. I think it looks dashing, fashionable even. You might start a trend. If you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. I'm having some trouble with my memory, too. I know what it's like. Yeah. She looks up at you for a long moment and slowly lets her smile slip away. Without it, she seems even smaller. She nods gravely. At first, it was pretty bad. I couldn't stay awake or stand up. Even talking was hard, but it's a little better every day, and it doesn't hurt so much anymore. But sometimes I still get dizzy when I move around too fast, and I forget things. She smiles bravely and touches the side of her head again, pressing with her fingertips. But it's a little better every day, she says again, in exactly the same tone as before, as though she didn't realize she had already said it. It doesn't hurt so much anymore, but sometimes I still get dizzy when I move around too fast, and I forget things. There's a long pause. She stares at you blankly for a moment, her mouth open slightly. Suddenly her eyes lose their vacant look and grin spreads across her face. I'm just kidding. I mean, I do sometimes forget things a little, but that was a joke, she says, then blushes a little and looks down sheepishly. Your story doesn't fit. Who fixed your wound and shaved your head? It could hardly be. If you could hardly sit up, how did you keep running? She scowls at you fiercely. I didn't know I was talking to a judge, she said angrily. I told you I can't remember. Not for days on either side of whatever happened. She looks away, mouth pressed into a firm line. I'm sorry, Rin. I was just trying to help. It seems like you had a rough couple of days. If you're gonna lie, at least make an attempt to keep your story straight. It's insulting otherwise. Nah. She gives a wavering smile. Oh, it's not all bad. I found some shimmery berries today, so that means I get to play. I wonder if this will poison me later. That's always exciting. Is there anything I can do to help? She shrugs nonchalantly. I don't know, I'm pretty good here. Unless you happen to know any spare food you aren't using, have any spare food or water or a blanket or a new bed or a house or, you know, anything at all. Rin starts out talking with a playful smile on her face, but then her eyes well up. Her voice stays cheerful even though tears are running down her cheeks. She wipes them away, embarrassed and angry, but her hands are shaking now, and there are more tears, and words continue to pour out of her. I offer apologies. It's just that I've been hungry for days, and I don't know where I am. My head hurts, and nothing makes sense. She laughs then, helplessly, with a tinge of trembling panic finally bleeding into her tone. God's around me. I'm all broken in my head. The moon is wrong. I'm so tired of being scared all the time. I'll take care of you. Come with me. She blinks up at you and gives you a huge grin. Really? She looks at the tiny nook where she was hiding in, then back at you. Where are you going? Tolmog. Oh, wait, crap. I forgot who he was. Is he evil? Is that... Oh! No, that's the slaver person! Okay, yeah, we're not taking her back there. No. I think that's the slaver lady or whatever. Maybe we can find you... No, we'll just be honest. You'll be safer with me than you will here. Probably not, actually, but... Maybe. She wraps her arms around herself. But what about those thugs? What if someone else comes after me or after you? I'm not a fighter. I can't help you. It's dangerous whether you stay here alone or come with me. At least with me, you can learn to take care of yourself. True. You're right. I can't afford to... No, you can... It's fine. We'll figure it out. I guess so. She sets her jaw then and nods. All right, I'll do it.
I'll remember that.
Oh, she's actually a party member. She's... This is really interesting because, the game is not your typical RPG, and mostly... Most of the, like, combat's very sparse in the first place, but I think we're able to, like, resolve combat conflicts through other means as well, so having another person, even if she's a little kid, could be good. She is a lost child who shapes gods, apparently. She's not very good, but that's not surprising, of course. Wait, hang on. Oh, she's got healing, though. God of hiding. Really good at stealth. Running. Quick fingers, perception. She can't use melee weapons. Wow. Bonded with a polished rock. Cool, I guess. Can she use this? Yeah.
This?
No, wait, she can't. No. Never mind. Flick of the wrist. Thanks for following, friend. Alright, never mind. She can't use any weapons at all. Well, we've got a full party, but I kind of think that I'm gonna give up Calistige. Maybe.
Learning begets doing.
I
Or
still
is it the other way?
want to find that lady and try and give her the book, though. These 3 triangles float serenely above the scuffed stone basin. You can't help noticing the city of Sagus are giving the monument a wide berth. Caliphale. Yeah, pretty much. The largest triangle shines brightly, radiating a soothing warmth. The middle, darker one hovers above it, turning slightly away from the first as it strikes you as disdain. The third is small, dryly amused, and so deeply indigo as to be nearly black. It's removed from the first 2 triangles. You hesitate. You are sensing emotions from these objects. Intent. Something is strange here. Let's just touch them. That's what I love to do first. Always just reach out, touch things. If all goes wrong, then you learn your lesson. But you don't, because you just touch things the next time as well. It's my character for you. You reach out and time slows. Your hand drifts past individual motes of light-draped dust, moving into the warm glow of a large triangle. Calm warmth bleeds up your arm when you grasp the edge of the triangle. It's somehow rigid and flexible at the same time. You blink, swaying in the half second before you open your eyes. You hear the treacherous crack of wood on wood and the rumble of distant voices. You snatch your hand from the triangle. No, touch it again. Soothing warmth creeps up your forearm. You find it hard to focus on your questions and that trouble you. Alright, study the medium-sized triangle then. Staring at the triangle is disorienting. The longer you stare at it, the more you feel a tight, coiling sensation in your own head. Standing on your toes and stretching, you manage to brush the triangle's icy face with your finger. The air thickens like a weight over you, and you struggle to keep your eyes open. Between the thumping of your heartbeat, you hear thousands of purposeful rhythmic footsteps, treading endless stairs toward the peak of your vast echoing room. Smallest triangle. The tiny object spins slightly faster than the others. The more you stare at it, the more you sense a growing presence in the air, the icy regard for distant eyes. You blink, and a strip of light unwinds ahead of you like a path through infinite, murmuring dark. Behind you is an ever-shifting zeotrope of linked, motionless U's. It is the past, you realize, every second of it, every choice pouring out of you and trailing away into the black. You open your eyes. You're back at the stone ring, still touching the triangle. All 3 of them are watching you. You blink again. The strip of light, the surrounding darkness, and the valley between the slow pushing of your heart. You hear the murmurs of countless witnesses, the raised voices of your past and future companions, the heated condemnations and enemies that you haven't met yet, and above it all, a trio of voices, one warm, one cold, and one dryly practical. They are speaking a verdict, but you can't hear them over the din. Shout for silence. You bellow into the dark, clenching your fists, and the crowd instantly falls silent. So do the judges. In the echoing silence that follows, you realize that you are alone, and you always were. You stride on. Path unravels before your every step. Your past unspooled behind you. Stay on the path. You follow the road casually. You look to the right, and the path of your feet flickers as if anticipating your new direction. Clearly, your choice defines the road course and not the other way around. You open your eyes. The 3 triangles hang in the air exactly as they did before. Unmoving and silent, the vision is gone, and yet you can still see the choices you've made. Feel the choices, curving away behind you like a string of jewels. You straighten, moving into the future, breath by breath. You suddenly notice a message carved into the stone ring beneath the triangles. Judge yourself. As you watch, it slowly fades away. Look at the stone basin. The stone is cracked in places, but far newer than the ancient shapes that float above. You suspect that the citizens of Sagus added the basin to make the triangles look less out of place. Step away. Weird. Very weird.
Let's go.
Okay, zoom out. What else we got going on around here? I need to find... I need to go back to the caravanserai. Because...
I'm going.
I have things to do, but... Oh, wait. Loot. Loot first! Money.
If you think that's best.
I need to go back to the Caravanserai, talk to the lady about the book, and then we need to go back to the underbelly to investigate the murder again and to possibly switch out companions. I just feel like we need a little bit more support, and Callistige is nice, but I think I'm gonna have most of the abilities that she's gonna have. So I don't know, she's probably better than me though. It seems like anyway. So how do I get to the place I was at before? Must be up? Wait. Oh, there's the Cave of the Lost Woods. Jump RK! Thank you for following, friend. Okay, that's where I came from. This is the airship. How do I get back to where I was, damn it? The other area with the Caravanserai.
In this world, then.
Is it over here? Like, I can't scroll. No. Cool. It's a one-person plane.
On it.
So this is where we need to be eventually, but I'm not done here yet. I want to do some crap. Nope.
You bet.
That's just gonna lead.
Yes, child.
That's just gonna lead to that. Nightberry Grave, thanks so much for coming.
On it.
Have a good night. Nothing there.
All right.
To the cliffs, go south of the map.
Yeah, that's something I could do.
I mean, I'm trying to go back to that town area that I was initially at. Is it Government Square? I don't think it is. I thought it was also called the Caravanserai, but maybe I'm completely wrong and it's actually called something else. Probably. Oh, there's the Order of Truth. Okay. I'm gonna go to the underbelly, because I need to be there, so... That works. Climb down. Circus Minor, Government District, Caravan, Nicklaus are the 4 areas. Oh, I think it was Circus Minor. I think it was Circus Minor that I need to find, but I know how to get to it from here. So...
And it's done.
You know what? Let's try and do this. I know we don't really have skills for it, but let's just
Yes,
attempt.
now.
We're probably gonna fail, but she actually has a pretty damn good chance to do it. Let's do it. Working blindly, you jam your hands into the foreman's body, ripping, realigning, and doing untold amounts of damage in your attempts to fulfill the construct's wishes. Eventually you succeed. Cold energy pours through the air like blood from a wound, flooding into the emotionless children. One by one, their eyes flicker into life. One by one, the foreman's eyes go out. Its voice mesh rattles, if it's going to speak. But it doesn't, it can't. The children watch the death of their parent with wide, glowing eyes. He'd want me to thank you, the old man said hoarsely, but I ain't. You knew him all 10 minutes, known him my entire life I have, and you came and took him from me. Without a look at his master's children, Tarnish sets off into the dark. Some of the little constructs wander in circles, chirping to themselves. One of them is already making for an exit, and one of them is motionless, stillborn. Keep them all. Maybe they can be used as ciphers and power sources. Take the dead one and let the others go free. Leave the dead one and let the others go free. Well... That's pretty rude. I'll just take the dead one.
Making a note.
I guess. Oh, it's just money. Alright, that's fine. You carefully pick up the stillborn construct, cradling it. The rest of the foreman's children chase each other for a few moments longer before following the one heading for the exit. We've already donated 1 cipher for no gain. That's true. I'm pretty mad that she died. Oh well, no. How lovely. I do hope no one steps on them. Bop. Cool. I did a thing and got experience. Alright. Oh yeah, Aragorn. And the guy... Oh yeah, both things are over here. Okay, Calistige. Keeg, yep, Keeg is dead. She's super dead. So is the other guy that is a thief down here. We need, first of all, how are you feeling? I adore you. I can't say it more simply. You lie. We need to part ways.
Well then, farewell. For now. You won't be gone long.
Maybe not. I will miss your voice. Okay, I really don't like Aragorn. I think he's pretty obnoxious, but I think he'll be a better balance for our skills, so we're gonna try him out.
It's you. Reconsidered leaving me here, then?
I'm investigating the murders. Have you heard anything? I've heard about them, but I didn't investigate. Got my hands full. Have you checked out the Dendra, maybe? Or your sister, Matkina? That's the extent of my advice. Matkina's right here. Will you travel with me again? Not like I've got anything more important to do. Fine. Alright. So, Aragorn, even though he's very annoying, he does have medium weapons, and he's got a lot more HP, and he's got some might. So, it might possibly be better for us. I think. So, I'm gonna have him use this weapon, which is better, right? Oh yeah, it's much better. Cool. More machinery and smashing. Yeah, he's got a lot of stuff that we don't have, so
Ready.
I think it'll be pretty good. Hopefully. Alright. A flayed, severed fist lies knuckled down in the vast pool of blood aligned with the center of red, dripping circle painted on the wall. Inspect the hand. Perception. The long-fingered fist in the center of the pool was in poor shape before someone ripped off all the skin. Lumps of crooked bone imply that the former owner broke his hand more than once. I know, right? I noticed that too. Sad. Very sad, but it's okay. You also spot fresh cuts along the back of the hand. Manth Pa fought for his life, for all the good it did him. You step towards the circle. Something about it seems familiar.
Making a note.
Haven't seen this in a while, she says softly, coming up beside you. That's no simple circle. That's the symbol of the children of the Endless Gate, she snorts. They're a sect of the Dendra O'Her that kills people instead of eating them. They call it opening the cages. The Dendra chased them out of the city a long time ago, but it doesn't look like they took the hint. Either that or... She pauses, thinking. One of the Dendra O'Her got tired of waiting for people to die on their own. Interesting, Matkina. Yeah. Okay. Well, now we have more to go on, so she knows about that, which is really cool. If I go examine this one, is it the same? Yes, it is. Okay.
I'm going.
Let's go fishing!
I'll handle
No
it.
fishing. His hands are shaking, fists at his side, as if he wants to strike someone but has no target. Another murder has occurred, he says. Manth Pa was a wandering jack, and of occasional use to me. Now he's dead. He bears a crescent of gritted teeth at you. Work harder, godling, your people are dying. I've discovered that the children of the Endless Gate may be involved in Weedle's murder. Interesting. Mbitu told me the group had been crushed long ago. I would count it a favor if you continued your investigation. Speak with Mbitu and his acolytes. Tell me if you believed one of them is responsible. Mbitu called the sect an infection once. Perhaps they have relapsed. Oh, interesting.
All right.
Let's go talk to the very, very friendly and charming Mbitu.
Fine.
I like how things are moving along here, though. I felt kind of like stuck for a little bit, but
Here
things
we
are
go, then.
things are working out. Actually, Larian, I was thinking the same thing. Like, if it just keeps killing people over and over until you have Matika in your party, and she can tell you, that would be hilarious and sad at the same time. Welcome back. See, you're still on your feet. You notice he seems disappointed about this, despite his feverish cheer. I have more questions. Tell me about your cult. We worship Great Queen Sar-Lavan, Lady of Maggots, Goddess of Entropy, and Guardian of the Empty Barrier, he says, then pauses, tapping a muddy tooth thoughtfully, although worships is a wrong word, perhaps. Hello, flick of the wrist. He points to the altar nearby. It displays a skull with flat, unforgiving eyes buried in its hollow sockets. She waits on the other side of death with her billions of squirming children. They devour whatever passes into the realm, and rightfully so. Everyone must eat. His eyes twinkle fondly. But whatever she and her children eat is lost forever, and so the Dendra O'Her work to preserve the minds and the mysteries of mortals before death claims them. We hold their shrill little thoughts in our minds and let them tumble around as they will. He shivers. It feels marvelous. I have more questions about the trouble in the underbelly. Oh dear, he says. I was hoping it was all over by now. I have evidence that the Dendra O'Her are involved. Can I speak with your acolytes?
Making a note.
Oh my, he says. I suppose you have my permission, but do be gentle with them. He flashes his teeth at you. If they deserve it, of course. Do you think the other Dendra O'Her could be capable of murder? Certainly not, he declares, and then pauses. Well, they do come and go as they please, hunting for bodies left in the gutters like broken leaves. He smiles mistily up at the air, as though reminded of his younger years. The devourer of wrongs is standing vigil these last few days, but after the others could be responsible? But any of the others could be responsible, I suppose. He runs his eyes across them, humming a fretful little memory. Oh dear, he says. They really are a suspicious lot, aren't they? Mallet enjoys hurting people, Kiatawa tells her little lies, and Gazi, well, she's quite unique. She seems as pleased at this as though he accomplished her uniqueness himself. All in all, they're a horrifying bunch, aren't they? I really hadn't noticed before. That's great. These people should invest into funeral home or graveyard business. They should. Which of your acolytes? Okay, so Mallet, Kiatawa, and Gazi. I've talked to Gazi already. So, I guess we'll talk to her again first.
Of course.
We welcome you back, Tenderling. She's croons as if singing to a nasty, tasty child. A nasty child. Mbitu says I can ask you about the murders of the underbelly. Her small eyes glow with humor, but flicker first to the lead of Dendra O'Her. He nods. Ask your questions, Tenderling, she says, stroking the back of her hand with her claws. Even this gentle motion draws blood. Murder? How can it be murder with no body? What? I mean, it can be presumed. Do you know what a group called the Children of about a group called the Children of the Endless Gate? We know it, she says, frowning. But we are not sure how. She drums her claws against her chin, drawing pinpricks of blood. Yes, bloody circles left in the sides of junkyard dwellings outside the bloom, in shadows. Beware the Endless Gate, little woman. The people of that community say it still makes us laugh. Such sweetness. Where did you see the bloody circles? In the junkyard outside the bloom, but not yesterday. Not last year, a time ago. And then the circles appeared no more. Perhaps the one who drew them moved on. What do you know of the murders? Oh, tenderling, she chuckles, delighted. You use the wrong word over and over. There's no murder if there's no body. This was, and she uses a word you do not recognize, a gruesome combination of clicking teeth and growling consonants. And so nothing was lost.
Making a note.
We do not know who is responsible, she says, scratching her cheek. Blood spills unhealed from her wound. Kiatawa and Mallet sneak through during the night. They swallow their secrets. They are done to her to serve the power and hunger. Not to honor the dead, nor for... She uses the wrong word, snapping her jagged teeth with great satisfaction. Or she uses the word again. They are not capable of such kindness. Why is she so interested in a soul that was not lost? Very strange. She thinks that someone is chopping the hands off of people and then taking the person and, like, not killing them. But there's so much blood, it's ridiculous. And so they have to be dead. Unless it's someone else's blood. We need to do a DNA test. What is the word you use to describe murder? The clicking, growling word? Word, she says, blinking. Oh, yes. Your language does not have the word, so we use our own. She clicks her teeth together thoughtfully, then answers. We know of murder, of course. To leave the body to rot is to say that the soul inside is not worth keeping. This we punish. This decision is not for anyone to make. The word we speak of is the opposite. On my word, which one of us dies or is killed, we eat the flesh and take their soul into our body. We feel the light of them reach our corners. She raises a claw, smiling. They become we, you understand. I see. You only think it's a murder if the murderer doesn't eat the entire body. So what if he eats every piece of the body except the hand? Then it's still not murder. Yeah. Yes, she says, clapping her hands together with delight. You understand. I understand, but that doesn't mean it makes any sense. This murder is no murder, she pronounces the word with obvious scorn. We know the details. A skinned hand in blood circles on the wall, she says, making a tisking noise. Tenderlings play with their food. Perhaps your murderer is young. They do not know they should finish the hands, strip the memories of hard work from the tendons, crunch the bones, slurp the blood from the floor. She shakes her head fondly. Tenderlings. Perhaps this tenderling thinks what I do is murder. She is wrong. What is this game about? It's a rather long story. What is the word? You don't think Kiatawa and Mallet killed any of the victims? We never said that, she says, playfully biting her tongue. They kill, but they do not honor. They do not understand who we are. Okay. We will miss you, tenderling. All of you.
Of course.
Let's talk to Kiatawa. This woman watches you, measuring every step, every twitch of your hands, and yet there is no fear in her. Iron lines her spine and presses her mouth into a thin, even line. You have to drink all the blood as well. This reminds me of Pisha's clan from Vampires. Yeah, actually, it is very similar to that. That is a good point. You take the wrong turn, she says, studying the nails on her right hand. Don't see many people down here for the light of the company. She steals a cautious glance at the hulking cultist nearby, then returns her gaze to you. You want something. Mbitu said I can ask you about the murders. Yeah, she says, looking over at the old man. He nods. Good. Have to say I'm not surprised the murderer's trail led you here. What do you want to know? Do you know anything about the Endless Gate? No, she says. Never heard of them. Denial. Suspicious. Are you sure? She shakes her head, looking confused. Okay, then do you have any idea who the murderer is?
I'll remember that.
No, she says, resting her hands on her hips. But I've seen what they left behind of the Folsom's boy. A mess. Blood on the walls and the floor. No body. She flickers a strand of hair out of her eyes. That's the kind of death you see when someone's sending a warning or holding a grudge. I saw it all the time before I came here. The circle's not a warning. It's a sign. Hang on, so she just lied to me? She's sending a warning or holding a grudge, but it's not a warning, it's a sign. A sign of what? Why do you think someone killed his protege? Why, she says with something approaching a grin. Why? This is someone Folsom cared about. He had a lot of enemies. Why do you think? I want to know your opinions on the Dendro-her. MB2 guy mentioned one of them as a liar. Oh, you're right, Larian. Must be her. Ha, she says. All right, don't expect me to hold back. What are your opinions on MB2? He's lived too long, she says. Maybe the Dendro-her were something once, but he just looked for his next meal now, and the rest of them are following his example. Did you complete the quest from Ghost Woman in the Inn? No. I have not seen a Ghost Woman in the Inn. And hello, Dido. How do you feel about Mallet? He likes hurting people. More than that, he's proud of it. She runs an angry hand through her hair and lowers her voice. I'm not sure, but I think he's been killing rivals from his old life and eating them. Really? I know he killed. He probably ate too. Why wouldn't he? What do you think of Gazee? She used to be worse than she is. If you haven't talked to her yet, you'll see what I mean. She glances at the mutant uneasily. Maybe all those corpses she's eating on her own are bringing Sagus into her head. Civilizing her, maybe. She shakes her head. But that just means she's a predator who knows the mind of her prey. She's a monster. Certainly she's murdered to eat. Why wouldn't she? I have other questions. Are you sure you haven't heard of them before? Damn it. Okay. Well, that was not very helpful. Let's talk to Mallet. The burly man sneers at you, flexing massive, scarred hands that could easily encircle your throat. His tongue probes his strange, sharpened teeth, and a short, blood-stained club swings from a hook at his waist. So what are you doing down here, shul meat? He says. Playing in the dark? He chuckles long and low. Have you been part of the Dendro-her for long? No, not long, he says. What sort of work did you do before? I broke stuff, he says, his eyes gleaming with dull humor. Not much for conversation? Way I see it, he drawls, is I don't know you. You ain't done nothing for me, and we got nothing to talk about. Not now, anyway. Crosses his arms. So why should we? You'll open up if we have something to talk about? Oh yeah, he snorts. You won't be able to shut me up. Well, Mbitu gave me permission to talk to you about the murders. Is that right, he says, glancing at Mbitu. The leader of the Dendro-her gives him a small nod. Yeah, all right, he says. Ask your questions for all the good it will do you. Tell me what you think about the other members of your family. Yeah. I don't trust my brother over this bunch and tried to cut my throat. He tried to cut my throat when I was 5. He clucks his tongue. Go on and ask your questions. MB2. He's alright. Got half the city scared of him and the other half bringing him meat. Not bad for an old man who smiles at everyone and never raises his voice. I hope to be half the feared when I'm done. More than half. Half that feared. What do you think of Gazee? Gazee's a monster, he says, shaking his head. Less than human and more than a beast. I've seen her take a corpse face off with a swipe of those claws and tuck it into her mouth like a pan bread. Didn't stop until the body was gone, down to the last drop of blood. He bites his upper lip, drawing ribbons of blood. Talk to Gazee if you want. Figure her out. Me, I keep my distance. How do you feel about Kiyatawa? He opens his mouth to respond, closes it, thinking. Something's wrong with her, he says finally. And I ain't stupid. I know how that sounds coming from me, just something broken in her. It's always getting worse. You feel eyes on you. You glance around to see Kiyatawa looking away. I have other questions. Did you know Weedle? Heh, he says. Yeah, I knew him. Glad to hear he's dead. He chuckles. He was smart and I knew. Always looking down on the rest of us, always ordering people around with Folsom looking on, smiling. But if you're thinking I chopped him, I didn't. I was getting drunk in the corner of the manufactory. He grins nastily. Wondering what all that screaming was about. Damn uppity lack nibber. I should have been Folsom's man, not him. Oh, really?
Making a note.
Motive. You know who you should ask, he says, leaning in. Kiyatawa. I saw her hunched over some corpse in the alley all by herself. Doesn't matter what the meat is. People who eat on their own always got something to hide. He nods at the other cultists. And Gazee's one to watch too. She ain't like you or me. She's a mutant. And not one of the nicer ones. And everyone eats their own. Everyone's got something to hide. I want to talk about your eating habits. Is that right, he says, scratching one of his sharpened teeth. Not much of a mystery there. I eat people and I like it, he shrugs. If that doesn't answer your question, go on and ask. Kiyatawa says you've been killing people instead of waiting for them to die.
I'll remember that.
People? She said that. He snorts a dark look at Kiyatawa. Yeah, all right, but not people, he says, stretching his neck thick. It was just one. Someone, yeah, I ain't gonna give you a name, who stole something from me once, and the fact that you ain't here asking about him means no one misses him. You sound like a man with a lot of grudges. Sure you didn't decide to settle some with Folsom? You must think I'm an idiot, he says. Sometimes grudges pay off, right? Make you feel good, right in your gut. He slaps his belly. But no one ever gets the better of Folsom, even if I killed every one of his protégés, and I'm not saying I killed even one. The man would have skinned me and hung me before I dropped my club. Settle grudges. Sure. Settle grudges with Folsom? No, never. Are you sure you haven't killed anyone since you joined the Dendro Her? Yeah, I'm sure, he says. His usual smile, however, is missing. Doesn't eating human flesh bother you? Bother? No, bother ain't the right word. He rubs the back of his neck. You think you're gonna mind the taste, but you don't. The part I don't like is the memories from the person you eat and end up in your head and you can't make 'em shut up. The four of us ate this Skalark. Not a fancy one, but one with old robes. Kiyatawa was talking about some word she kept hearing after. He scowls. I didn't get a word. I saw a memory of his when I was picking him out of my teeth. He was lying in bed, dying maybe, waiting for his son to come see him. His eyes kept closing, and his son never came. He shakes his head like a beast trying to dislodge a biting insect. Not that I saw anyway, and that's just from one meal. To get in my head and make me forget who's me. And Mbitu says it's easier, but... His eyes flicker away from you, and for a brief moment you see the fear in his eyes, the helplessness. Aw. Why do you eat corpses if it troubles you so much? It doesn't trouble me, he growls, and his voice is shaking. It just ain't easy. But it'll get better. Look at Mbitu. He's been doing it for a long time. You glance at Mbitu. The elderly head of the Dendro Hair waves and gives you a huge rotten grin. I don't know. None of these people seem particularly happy, honestly. Okay, well, I want to talk about something else. Have you ever heard of the Endless Gate? No, he says. Strange name, though. If it don't end, it ain't much of a gate, is it? It's more of a hallway. I guess. So he suspects Kiyatawa and Gazee, obviously. They're both hiding something. Okay. What does my journal say after all that? Okay. Mallet has warned me not to trust Kiyatawa or Gazee. He describes Gazee as a nasty sort of mutant. Mallet admitted to killing a man who stole something from him and then eating the man's corpse, but he claims he only did it once. Claims she doesn't know who the killer is and she's seen this kind of murder before. Says the killer was sending a warning or holding a grudge, but she was lying. Yeah, it could be in B2.
Done.
Definitely could be. Talk to him again. He does strike me as, like, weird and creepy. And definitely probably hiding something, but I don't know. He might just be weird and creepy. Okay. I have more questions about the troubles in the underbelly. Where were you when Folsom's protege was killed? Where were you on the night of yesterday and today and the day before? All of them except the devourer of wrongs, he says, shrugging. They're a fairly nasty bunch, I'm afraid. Our lifestyle doesn't draw the cream of society like it used to. Talk to them yourself, you'll see what I mean. All of them have their secrets, but they do love spilling them if you help them along, he frowns thoughtfully, ticking his fingers. Gazee is quite willing to share her hopelessly barbaric, but quite marvelous philosophies if you press her hard enough. Kiyatawa holds her secrets close, but plays with her hair when she's hiding something. Ah, and our dear Mallet cannot seem to abandon the grudges from his old life. Ah, he says, excited. I have quite an amazing alibi. Is that how you say it? Alibi? He draws himself up and sets his jaw sternly like a caricature of justice itself. 7 C's of alcohol, thanks for following. Try converting these nice people to the diet consisting solely of cheese in order to stop the murderers. I love that idea, Murgus. If only my character could talk about cheese. That would be great. He draws himself up and sets his jaw sternly like a caricature of justice. I was with Folsom the entire night, and he can tell you as such. It may not have been entirely legal what we did, but it wasn't murder. What? What Hugh and Folsom did? Wait a second here.
I'll remember that.
He leans in close to whisper in your ear. I've promised Folsom I wouldn't tell anyone how he helps with things. You'll need to ask him if you want to know more. He winks and stands back. So as you can see, I'm beyond suspicion. For one thing, the priest was already dead. Okay. So he helped Folsom with another issue where they didn't murder someone. This is a interesting quest. Well, I know that Kiyatawa is hiding something every time she plays with her hair, so I want to talk to her again. Mallet has caught you eating corpses on your own. Yeah, maybe Mallet should mind his own business, she says, shooting an angry look at the hulking cultist. Sure, it's true. I don't like being down here more than I have to, all right? I barely even sleep anymore. Keep getting the feeling that they're waiting for me to die, wondering what I'd taste like.
I'll remember that.
Not too long ago, I found a corpse in the alley near Circus Manor, and I didn't see why I should share it with this lot. HDS TRM TV. Hello, what's up? She drags her fingers through her hair. Uh-huh. That's it. No secret, no scandal, and since Mallet thinks he can share my hunting with strangers, maybe you should ask him how many corpses he's found on his own, or if they're actually dead when he found them. Mallet killed and eaten, I'm sure of it. Probably they all do. So, lie. She's lying. Does she flick her wrist or she shakes her head looking confused? So she's not lying about not here. I don't know. Is there anything else I can ask? Always hungry, just stomach and skinny legs. He used to kill people for money, and I don't think he stopped. She's a cannibal, and no matter how friendly she might seem... Okay. Let's talk to...
You bet.
Gazee again. We welcome you back, Tenderling. Okay. What do you people believe again? I have more questions about the murder. Okay, there's nothing new here. Kill, consume, honor is close. What did you see? Where did you see the bloody circles again?
Of course.
I don't know. I mean, the obvious suspect is her because she's lying, but it's probably not. I don't know. How am I supposed to find out? It'll open up if we have something to talk about. Question about the murders. Kiyatawa or Gazee, they just all they all suspect each other except for talk to Folsom. Oh right, yeah, I should talk to Folsom. Good point, Larian. Forgot about that. Let's go see what he says.
Go.
You can also check Mellett's alibi in the manufactory. Oh, because he said he was getting drunk there. That's right. So maybe
Of course we can help. Right, Al?
we can ask if someone saw him there or something?
Let's go, Al. You and me.
Are you talking to your rock? What are you...
What's going on?
How are you holding up? I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't come along and saved me. I don't think I'd be alive anymore. I think about that a lot. I don't know how to thank you for it. It's something too big I just thank someone for. I want to talk about the people we're traveling with. Who? Allegern. He's sweet, she said, and sad, like an uncle nobody's going to visit. Aw, I'm not sad, kid, just tired. It probably is tiring being sad all the time. Makina. She's a little cold. Don't tell her I said that. She doesn't need to. Matkina's ears work just fine. Oh, can you pretend you didn't hear that? Let's pretend I said yes. Ooh. Okay then. The fat man's gaze shifts to Matkina, and his expression hardens further. Matkina, you will tell me if you know anything about this murder, he says, gesturing at the bloody floor with ringed hand. And if you are responsible, you will reveal the name of your employer now. She's not moving. You know me better than that. Or should. She jerks a thumb over her shoulder. I took a look at one of the other murders. You're not looking for an assassin, Folsom. Someone painted a sigil on the endless gate on the wall. I see, he says. I would recommend that the two of you continue your investigation by speaking with Mbitu, leader of the Dendro Her, if you haven't already. I'm curious how a long-extinct splinter group of the cult is suddenly active in my territory once more. He smiles tightly and returns his gaze to you, waiting for you to speak. Mbitu says he was with you when the first murder occurred. Is that true? Yes, Folsom said. He does not elaborate. Do you have any new insights? Perhaps. Consider the latest targets, he said. A fisherwoman and a freelance jack. One who's done work for me and one has always been close to my heart. Neither were crucial to my plans. He sighs his sigh is more of a growl. I conclude that the murderer is not specifically targeting my interests, but he or she will suffer nonetheless. There are no connections. It could be pure insanity. All the better to stamp it out. I don't know who the murderer is. I have no idea. I'm just gonna see who I can accuse. I think I can. Oh my god, Andreas. Thank you so much, dude. The game has a lot of reading. Thanks for doing that. You're so welcome. It's a great game. Thank you very much for the support, dude. Alright. I want to see... Okay, so I can... I can't even... It's one of those three, so I can't accuse, the dude, the leader dude anyways. Interesting.
Of course.
Is this game any good? Yeah, it is good. If you like this sort of game, it is good. I could see, like, if you don't like to read things, and,
If you're sure it's safe.
you know, it's more slow-paced than some games.
Trust and honesty are our bonds.
But, it's fantastic in many, many, many ways. So if you don't mind reading, it's fabulous. Okay. Imbichu... Whatever. I don't know who to freaking... like, accuse. He says, looking comfortable. Good. Where these decades go, I could handle the investigation myself, but I am perhaps a little past my prime. He drops his voice to a whisper. His breath is sour, and a wild light dances in the deep places of his eyes. Bring your suspicion to Folsom. He will take the correct actions. He always does. Someone did something terrible, and you're trying to find out who did it. There's been multiple murders in the underbelly. And yeah, we're trying to figure out who did it, so that's what we're investigating. The Earth Rocker, thank you for following. Game looks good. I may learn to read just for this game. I recommend it. If you read the game, it will teach you how to read. Not really, but you'll get good practice in. That's for sure. Okay. I don't know.
Got it.
Yeah, it's like underneath the main city. It's called the Underbelly.
Let's go all. You and me.
I don't freaking know who did it, man. They're all suspicious. Maybe it's Gazee because she's the kind of the least suspicious, honestly. She's the oldest. So maybe she's smart enough to get away with it. But then if she's smart enough, yeah, it'll teach you weird underused words. Very true, Murgas. Like, why... I don't know why any of these people would draw the circle on the wall pointing to that particular cult when they know there's none of, like... Unless they were trying to draw them away from themselves. But, like, since that cult is kind of similar to these people, then why would they do... Why would... If they're trying to hide it, why would they just do that? You know? Like, why wouldn't they just murder someone? Why would they leave any kind of calling card is what I'm trying to say. Like, it's weird.
Why are you always sighing, Aligern?
You don't know my history. You wouldn't understand.
So, boredom then? In case you haven't noticed, you don't have a monopoly on tragedy here.
Oh, snap.
Here we go, then.
Yay, we got party banter. Great. Aligern